Yeah. So, like, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that, like, nobody's going to, right? Billions of people exist on this planet, and a lot of people subscribe to Game Pass Ultimate. So, obviously, a lot of people are going to go and they're going to cancel them in this sense, in this way to boycott it. But I want to see how many people resubscribe, right? I want to see how many people are still subscribed right now. We can't see these numbers because these aren't public numbers. But at the end of the day, the whole point is that, like, people are going to sit here and complain about it because Game Pass is a newer thing. Video games are a different thing than movies, but streaming services charge the shit out of you all the time. So unless you're intelligently going through and choosing what it is that you watch from a streaming service, and you're looking at this, but some people literally get a streaming service, they pay $20 and they watch one TV show. Okay. And then nothing. Some people literally do nothing but watch TV all day, every day. So just for the value, from Game Pass in general, I think value-wise, money to games to be able to play, you're saving shit tons of money to play all the best games every year, pretty much, and as well as a bunch of cool indies and AA that way. So I think overall, price-wise, even though it seems high, you're actually saving money if you are someone who wants to play a bunch of games. But if you're someone who's only going to play a couple games a year, just go buy those games. Don't get Game Pass. Just go buy those games.
Yeah.
Or just play them and cancel your membership. Now, as far as how it's going to affect games and stuff, I mean, since the very beginning, tons of people have been pretty vocal. Alex Hutchinson, when it came to Journey to the Savage Planet, when it first went on there, it didn't really help them. It actually kind of seemed to hinder their sales and how much they could get to.
Raph did as well.
Raphael said that when he launched day one on Game Pass, that it hurt his sales. It hurt his game. And yeah, they get paid a little bit here and there, and like it kind of, how long it stays on there is determined by this. But of course, you never know. Like, even though if it hurt it in the short term, it also could have. It could have, like, in the case of Weird West and Journey to Savage Planet, they're both very kind of obscure games that not that many people played anyway. So I don't know if it would have really helped or hurt that much in the long run, regardless. Because both games, it's not like they sold a lot or did like stupid well or were considered these like masterpieces of video games of all time. But when it comes to like indies, any eyes is eyes. But when it comes to these bigger games, it does seem like profit-wise, Call of Duty and all these bigger games, that all this stuff, Microsoft's not making the money back because they're not selling as many of these big games because they're dropping them day one on Game Pass so that people will buy Game Pass.
Yeah.
And
which is
they went and they bought all these studios, so you have all this. Right. They have all this money that needs to be recouped, right? But you're not going to make all that money if you drop them day one on Game Pass. The smart thing to do would be every single first-party game, every single big AAA game, every first-party game by Xbox should release by itself as an Xbox temporary exclusive so that people go and buy it, and then, like 4 months later, kind of like a theatrical release, it releases on Game Pass Ultimate, and then those other big games, like the Atom Fall or some other game made by another studio that's not under Xbox, those can be day one Game Pass Ultimate exclusives because it's not hurting Microsoft's pocket except for whatever they give them flat rate.
Medium, you look like you want to say something.
Yeah. Something just came to mind. I've got other things to say too, but the probably has the same problem now where people complain that I'm just going to wait for the DVD release anyway.
Yeah.
Games are a little bit more maybe social, not just because of multiplayer, but like because you don't want to sit there and come with your anecdotes 3 months after everybody's stopped caring about X thing. So there probably is a little bit more of a push to get in, like the early release thing they've been doing recently. It's, in my opinion, been a way more successfully received pre-order bonus than just like we gave you an extra weapon and a skin type of crap that they've been doing for years.
Yeah.
So that's definitely been working. So there is some of that like FOMO bonus to be had.
I agree.
For sure.
I think there's something to that. I do
But-
kind of feel
Yeah,
like
I
probably
just
will have the same ability
Yeah.
to be. I mean, gamers aren't naturally particularly patient people, but I feel like that would probably be something that they could handle. It's hard to
Yeah.
say though, because I mean, let's look at these responses that people normally have for the Game Pass increase. It's just an immediate like, I ain't paying that much, and it's just like, I mean, you don't have to. No one can sit there and make you just. But if you were to say anything more than just like, I prefer not to, and then you look at like the value to money kind of thing, there's always this like unspoken kind of conflation where they pretend like they're saying it's not of good value when it's an impossibly good value, just based off of like, if you like 2 things out of the 1,000 on there, you not only have way more value than you should have, you should shut the fuck up about it and never complain again,
Yeah.
type of thing. But that's either not what we're saying at all, or you're just saying, I've gotten such a good deal to this point, that's why I was okay with it. As soon as it almost like starts to match in any way the value it's already giving you, like all of a sudden that's when it becomes too real or something. Because like I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
people in my just around like Discord and stuff that just immediately recoil and go, I will never pay on principle alone. And it's like, well, where do you? There's no market.
Yeah, what's the principle?
assessment. There's no comparative
Of course.
reason to assume that. It's just I don't like spending more money than
Oh,
I
there
have
is.
to. It's like, well, then you're not who
Yeah.
Game Pass was for anyway. Like these are you're pretending to give a
Exactly.
shit about the process when you're complaining about the wrong thing. You're not worried about the value. You're just like, I don't think so. Because
Yeah.
the argument that I don't get to keep a hold of my games is a little bit like beside the point too to me. If you like to hold on to your games anyway, you wouldn't be on Game Pass. Like, right?
Exactly.
Like,
But
how does
that's
that-
that's also
reason
true
to
of
get off
Steam
of
as
it?
well, though. Of course, you don't own your Steam games. I mean, yes, you could download the files, but the
Yeah.
point you're making, which I agree with, is that if you subscribe to your Netflix or your Game Pass, you've already accepted up front that you're never going to own those games. So why would you complain when the prices are increased, but yet you're still getting orders of magnitude more value than you would? So I do get that.
Let me say one last thing before we
No,
exit off to that.
Yeah,
If you play a lot of games, right, the value is there for Game Pass Ultimate at $30 a month. If you want to play like a ton of games that year, you could you could spend it. You could pay for it for like 4 months, and you could play like a ton of games, and then just not pay for it for a while, and then play a ton of games. So it's like for me, like when Game Pass first started being a thing. I'm big on physical, so I still I buy physical games when given the option. And so when Game Pass first started being a thing, I literally would pay for Game Pass to test games. So I would just be like, okay, I'll pay for Game Pass for 1 month, and then I'm just going to test a bunch of games, see if they're worth the crap. And if I like them, I'll buy a physical copy of them. And then as it got more expensive, I would use Game Pass to save money on playing a bunch of indie games or something. I used it at the beginning of the year to play Indiana Jones, Sniper Elite Resistance, and Ninja Gaiden Black 2. Because I was like, I'm not buying all these games. So I'm going to just use Game Pass. I'm going to, as soon as Ninja Gaiden 2 Black launched, I was like, all right, Game Pass. Then I went and played all these games. And got my value in a month. I mean, Ninja Gaiden 2 Black was it took me a few days to beat. And then so my value for that month was, through the roof. And, and it just depends on who you are. It's like all the games that I wanted to play this year, I've already bought those games, right? The main games I wanted to play this year, I already bought them. So I didn't, I think there's only 2 of the games I wanted to play this year on Game Pass, The Outer Worlds 2, Atomfall. But I knew I was going to be playing The Outer Worlds 2 for this month and next month. I just went ahead and bought it. I'm going to replay it, whatever. So I just went ahead and bought it. I'd already bought Atomfall, all this stuff. So I'd already got that covered. So for me, Game Pass is not something that I want to pay for because I already know what I'm going to buy. And I'm not trying to play every AAA game in the year because I don't got that kind of time. So I just buy what I want to play and then I play what I want to play. And that's just, at the end of the day. It just depends on the person. I think it just at the end of the day, it comes down to like just your what kind of gamer you are, or like whatever it is you're feeling at that point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like just to put a pin in it feels like a lot of times the criticisms are independent of any intelligent like ability to know why these things would ever happen in the first place, and then pretending that because all corporations are assholes and rah rah fight the power man, you kind of like fake pretend like you're a resistance faction in the world while just saying, you know what, I'd rather not spend $20 extra this month. And it's like, it's not that deep. Like, you're pretending to have a cause. It's like, it's not even relevant to the reason you were tuned in the first place.
Yeah.
The value is preposterous. It always has been. If you're still paying for it,
I've been losing money for years.
Talking in the mirror to themselves and going, it's worth it, man. It's worth it. You just got to believe it. Like, if you don't think it's worth it, you're not going to win
it's okay.
on a numbers basis. Like, it makes no fucking sense. Like, if you're just playing the Outer Worlds 2 this month, which is probably what I'm doing, that game's, what, $70, $80? Even if it costs as much as an Xbox 360 game,
70, yeah.
That's probably 40 hours. That's twice the value of what I paid. And if, it doesn't make sense if I hold on to it forever. Maybe I just buy it, but it's like, duh,